And I think, is it Deputy McCall, if you're going to take that?
It is Gormag at the Cairlock. Ms Graham, I suppose the overwhelming majority of this committee in the last general election committed to try and increase the supply of housing, and there's certainly a large majority of the committee that believe that we should do that by increasing the supply of public housing using approved housing bodies and their local authorities. And so I suppose the remaining question, if we answered that question in 2021 with the publication of Housing for All and the multi-annual budget, the question remaining for 2022 is the public housing system able to deliver those houses, and does it have the ambition to do so? And I include the department, AHBs, but principally the local authorities in that. So let me turn to the issue of urban regeneration and vacant sites. The largest urban regeneration project in Europe at one time was Ballymun. The department invested more than €1 billion in it. Would it be fair to say now at this point that all of the policy tools are available to Dublin City Council to deliver mixed housing, public housing, affordable purchase, affordable rental and social housing on the remaining 25 sites in the Ballymun area?
Well, I think there is obviously a range of expertise, as you mentioned, in terms of the historically involved in regeneration, mixed development capacity. There are new schemes coming on board, and part of the role of the department is to ensure that people are skilled up to deal with them, that there's the guidance to do them, and particularly around mixed tenure. And that's part of having the housing delivery action plan, so that local authorities can show how they're responding at a local authority level to the high level objectives that are in Housing for All. So we give the guidance out to them, and the focus is very much now on delivery.
Yeah, so for those vacant 25 sites, the funding is available and the policy instruments are available. Is that correct?
Yes, there's obviously some schemes that are being developed, and there's further pieces going out. But in terms of as I say, my understanding is for those schemes, I'm not dealing directly with some of the public housing in the planning department, but in general, I think that.
Yeah, and I think those 25 sites, there's greenfield sites, all of them. There's an estimate that could accommodate up to 2,000 units. So a very significant amount of supply, all on public land owned by Dublin City Council, no other ownership and so on. Is the department ensuring that Dublin City Council follow through on the obligation to deliver that, given that it's probably one of the largest opportunities to use urban regeneration to deliver housing?
The department has a strong focus, as I say, on delivery. Now, there are a number of mechanisms in place, such as Dublin Housing action committees looking at ensuring that Dublin is delivering, because it's such, as you say, a big component, and the Housing Delivery Coordination Office that's based in the Local Government Management Authority. So our focus is entirely on meeting the targets that are being set within Housing for All.
Yeah, I suppose the question that many local representatives have is it a priority? So we know the tools are there, but are we waiting on whether Dublin City Council have the ambition for this or not, or is the department monitoring that ambition?
The department is monitoring the ambition, and that was part and parcel of getting local authorities to produce delivery action plans at the end of last year, so that there was a plan against which that monitoring can take place.
Yeah, so there's 25 sites, and I've published an update on each of those sites. Dublin City Council, it is being monitored. I appreciate that. If Dublin City Council fails to live up to the ambition of both the department and of the members of this committee, how will the department react to that, and are there sanctions that which you have in place?
Well, I'm not dealing specifically, Deputy, with the social housing programme, so I can only speak in general, because our focus is ensuring that the overall targets are met, and they're met in the locations that they need to be, whether that's overall supply or it's the supply of social and affordable housing. And our drive, in partnership with local authorities and approved housing bodies, will be to ensure that they're delivered. If there's slippage on some, they need to be met by other projects. You know, projects can slip for very legitimate reasons, But
Yeah, no,
the focus of everyone.
I accept that, and many other representatives have talked about the importance of urban regeneration, the complexity, multiple stakeholders, and so on. But we have here a town which has long promised regeneration. All of the tools are available on the table. We have a single local authority, a single housing authority, and all of it remains in public housing. If we can't deliver urban regeneration in a housing crisis in Ballymun, you would have to ask the question, where can we deliver it?
I don't know where I suppose the drive is very much, and we have our interaction with local authorities is really around that drive and enthusiasm to deliver on the targets.
Yeah, I think there does need to be, and perhaps some sort of a recommendation in this report, a greater transparency of those targets and the places, because while overall targets can be met, we're talking about communities and towns. We're talking about places that need that regeneration. They can't do without it by being met elsewhere. But I take on board your point, Ms. Graham. Can I move on to the issue of private sites? So I moved to Finglas, another area in my town, mostly where we have vacant and derelict buildings which are in private ownership. When will they be able to access Creek Cunaha?
So depending on whether they're Creek Cunaha for towns or Creek Cunaha for cities, so the cities has been developed separately. The towns version will be, we expect to be going out later this quarter.
And will urban towns in Dublin be able to access Creek Cunaha towns?
We are looking at it at the definition and the criteria really associated with National Planning Framework criteria, and that's something that we'll have to look at in terms of the definition of urban town.
Can I return to my previous question then? When will private owners be able to apply for Creek Cunaha towns or cities?
Well, if they are individuals, it would be the towns. If they are Creek Cunaha cities and they're developing apartment blocks, I understand it will be quite soon that they're working on the proposals to issue them.
And the last question, Chair, we have a very welcome development where an old historic building, Ashgrove House in Finglas, is now being used for social housing. No policy instrument required there, just the ambition of a great of AHB. What are we doing to ensure that AHBs identify these sites, purchase them and turn them into social housing using all of the existing instruments that are actually on the table at the moment?
Yeah, that's an area where we see important support being given to the housing agency to work with AHBs to identify precisely those issues that you're talking about, to expand the use of CAS, the CAS scheme, which would have particular social housing needs, and some funding has been given is due to be given under Housing for All to the housing agency to help them in that support.
Again, I think we need to be monitoring the ambition in that area as much as the delivery. Targets are no good if we don't meet them.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chair.
Deputy McAuliffe. Thank you very much. And we move on now to